So for those of you going to compete at Writtens in Anaheim this spring, there are a couple things you need to know. Now this picture is from last year's ICDC, and it should give you a little bit of the idea of the scope of it. This is the Nashville NHL team's arena, and we filled it pretty much up to the top. Anyway, when we get there, you're going to be given a program, and the program is going to show you when different things are happening. And what you're going to first of all look for is the competitive event testing and briefing. And at that, you're going to go into a very, very large room in the convention center. You're going to find your category. They'll have big signs up, and you're going to have a seat. When you go to do this, you need to be properly attired. Now, this is a great picture to show you the different ways that girls can wear the blazer and different outfits. What you might not have noticed is that one of these young ladies would be disqualified. Your skirt must be just to the top of your knee. So the young lady second from the left would have gotten a 25-point deduction. Now, when you hand in your paper, you do not need to be wearing the blazer, but you still need to be dressed in business attire. Now, this is what the concourse of last year's convention center looked like. And this was later on in the day, so there weren't nearly as many people there. When you get there, you're going to find there are signs outside the rooms, and that's where you're going to be collected for going to your competition. Now, when you arrive on the day that you're handing your paper in, you'll have your paper in your decafolio. You'll go in and you'll have a seat, and there will be one of the DECA executives from DECA International will stand up and talk to you about what the expectations are and what happens. The earlier you are in the line, the earlier you will compete. Advantages and disadvantages of being first. The judges are fresher. They're less tired. They haven't heard as many presentations. So yours may stand out for them. The advantages of being near the end is that they've heard a lot of bad presentations, and yours may stand out as being better. I can't tell you which one is better, but when you go in, you'll have your paper in your decafolio. And when you get to the front of the line for your judge, they will put a sticker on it with your name and your competitive event category and your time. When you have handed it in, then it gets marked according to the written event checklist. A Scantron sheet gets made for you. A number of other things happen, and all of the papers get sorted into boxes to go to the judges the following day. Now, in the itinerary that you'll get once we get to internationals, and I believe it will be online by the beginning of April, you can check and find out exactly what hall you're supposed to be going to, and you can check and find out exactly what room you're going to be going to. However, when you go in to compete, your booth will look like this. So everybody stands at the red carpet line until the timer says you may begin, at which point you step forward with your easel, with whatever materials you're going to be using. And you are judged from the time that we say start until the time we say end. At the time that you end, the judges then have 5 minutes to do their evaluation. Now, the judges will be that distance away from you in front of the table. You may use one of the seats or not. If you're in a category that allows for 3 people to compete, there will be 3 chairs there. Now, this young lady decided as she took things off of her easel to drop them on the floor. This isn't really a good idea, because if you look, she then had this mess on the floor behind her. And then the judge, while he was trying to evaluate her, had her on her knees collecting up all the papers that she dropped all over the place. It did not come across as being professional. When you get to the front of the line as well, don't ask for a specific time. You're going to be given the next time that's available. So if you're at the beginning of the line, you may be competing at 8 o'clock. If you're at the end of the line, you may be completing at 4 o'clock. Now, after the first day's competition, the next morning we go to one of those awards ceremonies. And the awards ceremony is held in that big room again, and these are called the mini awards. When you go to mini awards, you have to have a deca blazer, you have to be dressed in business attire, and you have to be ready to go with all your materials. If you get called across the stage as being top 20, it means you're going back and you're going to be judged, all of those top 20 people, by the same judge. Those people are the ones who will get top 10 and be first, second, or third and come home with a trophy. But when they have the awards ceremony, they know that if EFB gets called across the stage at 8:30, they know that they can start the competition by 9 or 9:15. So you leave the awards ceremony, you grab your stuff, you go directly to your competition area. If you are there and the person who was supposed to go first isn't there, we will put you in to fill it up, because the judges don't have enough time to waste any time. So it's really, really important that you've got everything with you when you get to the awards ceremony. Don't say, oh gee, I have to go back to the hotel and get dressed properly and get all my other stuff. You have to have brought it with you.